Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures. Now, we have Stalker, and of course Stalker's in the Valkyrie, and if you take a look really closely, right there, you can see Jewel. Absolutely. Now, I have set up a burn for when we reach near Val, when we reach our periapsis, I believe it's apoapsis. Periapsis, yes, when we reach our periapsis around Jewel, we will be fairly close to Val's orbit, 1,216.3 meters per second, and one additional orbit, I think, will get us within 28 kilometers of Val's surface, which is great. From there, we can figure out whatever orbital maneuvers we need to do, but for now, are these things still full? Yes, they are. Excellent. For now, we're just going to go ahead and have Mekjeb, I'm going to have Mekjeb do it, but we're going to have Mekjeb do the burns to get us into orbit around Jewel, and then in orbit around Val. Now that's all going to be done off camera because it takes such a long time to do it, and then after that we will land on Val and check out that anomaly. Now the downside is if we take a look over here at our food, water, and oxy, what we have is we have nearly 50% used up. What that means is if we don't get a good return to Kerbin that lasts less than 353 days or 1 year, we're probably going to end up missing Stalker in the future. Yeah, I thought about sending up a ship after him, like an automated food truck basically behind him, but by the time I had thought about it, 141 days had passed and he was already long gone. So because of that, we will hopefully get him back. I do not know. It's unfortunate. I guess I should have overstocked the food, but I really didn't think about it. Well, I did think about it, but I figured the amount of food that we gave him was more than enough. But we should find out. He will be our test subject. But before we test it out, of course, we do need to get him down onto Val so he can check out that anomaly at least. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and most likely I will see you guys when we are in orbit around Val. Although we will be seeing some pretty sights between here and there. It's really boring, basically. It's going to be very boring to zoom in, do the burn, zoom in again, do the burn, and so on. But if anything interesting happens, you guys will be the first to know, absolutely. So I will see you guys when we are in orbit around Val and ready to get started to land. So see you guys there. Alright, everybody, here we are around Val. I was going to say around Jewel. We are technically around Jewel, but as you can see, we have Jewel, and we have Val, and we have Tylo, and we have Laith right there, and of course Val being right here. Now, the thing with this is we have to land. It is landing time, but Stalker is in the wrong pod, I think. Where is Stalker? Is he in the right pod? No, Stalker's here right now. He needs to be... Let me drop this down. He needs to be in this pod. So, let's have Stalker EVA. Now, he shouldn't hit anything when he... No, EVA, little buddy. Oh, mouse is giving me a little bit of trouble. Hey, he's EVA, and everyone's like, hey! Alright, so he's gonna flip over. Oop, oop. He's gonna back away. Now we have about half a year's worth of food, water, and oxygen left in all three systems. But before we land, we have to make sure we check all of our tanks, make sure they're full. I did disable cross-feed, but that doesn't mean we didn't use the fuel in it anyway. You know, just in case. We'll just check all that. But we will be setting up a burn in order to land and everything. But we did want to transfer Stalker over to the correct pod. So now he's in the correct pod. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fuel consumption. Should be fine. Yeah, we're pretty set. Okay, I'm going to assume that all of these are a standard. Alright. Good. Now this is a decoupler, or is this something else? I have to check. What is this? Disable crossfeed. Very important to disable crossfeed for that. And the reason why is because if we don't, what we're going to end up with is we are going to end up with a... okay, we're going to end up with sucking the fuel out of this. And that is not what we want. So we want to make sure we disable crossfeed on there. Now, the next thing we want to do is make sure he has enough food, water, oxy. And that might not... Ooh, aha! So food, water, oxygen, little low. He's only got about half a day's worth. Crew hatch... One of these should be right. I think it's this one. Aha! So we're going to say out, and then we're going to say in, just to get the waste in. And the food out, and that way he has a day's worth of food, water, and oxygen, just in case. You know, you might as well max it out. And done. Alright, he is good to go. Now, because he'll be landing here in a moment, what we're going to do is from here, we are in fact going to disconnect him. Now, I did want to check what kind of power... I don't even remember what kind of power I put on this little guy. It looks like he has 2 RTGs, is that right? Okay, so yeah, he's using RTGs. RTGs are fine. I think he has lights on here. Oh, he does have lights on here. Okay, cool. Completely forgot he had lights on here. Not great lights or anything, but he does have lights. Alright. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and disconnect from here. No, okay, we're apparently disabled. The crossfeed was not disabled. That's disconcerting. I'm assuming because we were pulling from these outer tanks, it never pulled from these center tanks. Because I'm looking at these and it's saying that we're fine. Huh. So crossfeed was never disabled, but we never took from these tanks anyway. Okay, well that's cool. And let's go ahead and disconnect from here. This is the moment. This is it. And decouple. Boom. And we're done. We are disconnected. We are good to go. Okay, let's go back to Stalker. Now the problem here is I don't think I have RCS on here at all, do I? I don't think I put any RCS on here. We did not put RCS on here at all. That's going to be a bit of an issue. Okay, so we might have a bit of a problem with the lack of RCS. We'll try to push ourselves away gently. Alright, a little bit of a nudge, a little teeny tiny nudge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to start like the orbital maneuvers to... Wow, we're wobbling all over the place. Can we tee up, please? Tee up, please. Hold it stable. Alright, there we go. So we are moving away gently now. That's good. Now this is going to be our return ship, so we do have to come back to it. That's going to be the big... That's going to be the big problem there, is we do have to come back to it. So we will be coming back to our return ship without too much problem, but this is going to be our lander can. Now, before we do anything else, I do have to set up our landing, which is going to be a little bit more difficult now that we don't have MechJub, and I should have thought to put MechJub on this lander before I did anything else. And are these active? No, they're not. Okay, so I'm going to activate these manually, just so I can know what I'm doing. Activate. I think I put these on quick keys, but I don't remember what they are. Yeah, I was paying that close attention. Whoa. We need all these activated. If any of them are not activated, we have a problem. Alright, activate. Good. And activate. Good. Is that all of them? Alright, we're good to go. Okay, so our lander can is now available and ready to rock and roll. We do have Kerbal Engineer, but that's not MechJub, which is unfortunate. Vessel Delta V in stage 2 is 2,259. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Food, water, oxy, we have about a day now. Yeah, 1 day. 1 day. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, I know you guys can't really see very well, I do apologize, I'll put Jewel right there so you can kind of see. What we're going to do is I'm going to set up a burn for landing. We are going to do the burn together, of course, because it is super important. But the setup for the burn is going to take a minute for me to figure out and get it on, get it all set up. And get there, because we are stuck at one speed time per second. We can't go any faster than one time acceleration, which does cause a little bit of a hassle when it comes to getting things done. So I will see you guys most likely when we're starting the burn, if not when we're landing. Most likely when we start the burn, and so that way you guys can see the whole thing. But until then, we're going to take a break. We're going to pause for a moment, and then I will see you guys when we are ready to burn down into non-orbit. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everyone, here we are, very close to our destination. About 58 seconds left until our burn, and if you look right there, you see that little blip? That, I believe, is our target. You can even see it from right here, I think. It might be a tear in the texture, I don't know, but that little blip might be what we're looking for. Now, I know we only have 45 seconds until our burn, but I'm not sure how powerful these engines are, and I don't want to start our burn too early. I know, right, Stalker? He's like, hey, you gotta do this burn now. But there it is. There's our little... We did such a good job. We did such a good job. We're on the light side of the planet. Our orbit's going right over the top of it. There it is. We can just fly by and be done with it and go back to the ship and go home. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We are, in fact, going to land straight up. So, I think... Go ahead and start now. Oh, that's perfect, almost. Ah, interesting. Whoa. Apparently we're a little sideways of our burn. That's my bad. Not sure why, but we are. Let's get that fixed a little bit. Okay. Yeah, she's pushing sideways. I don't know why. I think I may have forgotten to activate one of the engines. No, we're pretty stable there. That's some other reason. Alright. So I just wanted to slow us down. I don't know if that's enough yet. I don't think it is. We can get pretty close. There's a few kilometers between where we are and where we need to be. That's the problem. How much Delta V do we have? A lot. Now, we weren't originally going to take off at this top stage, but we have a lot of fuel in it. Let's go ahead and bring our gear down. We do have a lot of fuel in it, and so I'm wondering if maybe we should land with it. And then, like, try to land flat with it, and then maybe try to take off again. We'll have to see. Let's go ahead and reduce our speed a little bit more. Get our horizontal speed down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, we are now closing in on our surface information. I'm going to quickly go to the map screen and close this out. Alright. And now from here, it's all up to us to do this properly. Let's go ahead and reduce our horizontal speed as much as possible. Down to 60, 40, 30, 20, 12, 14. Okay, 14 is good. And we really want to go this way. Alright, that's down to 7. And we'll just use whatever little bit of thrust we can to keep this thing straight. Where are we at? We're at 3 meters per second. We are very close. I think landing this close is close enough. I think we can just kind of float over that direction. I think. Don't quote me on that. This could end up being apparently a very poorly designed flight for everyone involved. But for now, okay, so we're doing about 226 millimeters per second. All right, I'm not sure why it's being so weird, but it is. We'll straighten her out. There you go. 4.7 millimeters per second. So that's pretty straight up and down. Now we just have to make sure we don't hit the ground too hard. Now I think I have lights on here. Landing lights? Nope, did not bring landing lights. But luckily for us, we will be landing on the lighter side. Oh yeah, we're fairly close. We are fairly close. We are pretty close indeed. So let's just go ahead and not hit the ground with enough force to break off our landing gear. Might be landing on a hill, which is upsetting to say the least. Come on. Come on. What's our... oh... 800 meters per second? Or, no, 800, not 800 meters per second, excuse me, 800 meters off the ground. Alright, so the gravity here is at 0.25, 2425, something like that, which isn't that bad. We just have to make sure we don't hit the ground too hard, is all. We might be hitting in a little bit of a crevice. Hey, okay, there's our shadow. Our shadow will, of course, help us land a little bit better. Okay, we're only about 100 meters off the ground, so let's go ahead and slow that up a little bit more. 7, 6, oop, losing it. Don't fall over, don't fall over. Taking off again because we're about to fall over. Okay, so that unfortunately is a side effect of this particular design, is she likes to fall down. Okay, we want to bring our horizontal speed down. Luckily we have enough fuel for this. You can see our destination right over there, but unfortunately we need to bring our horizontal speed way down or we're going to have a bit of a problem. 4, 3, 2... Just trying to bring our horizontal speed down. Come on. Yeah, 2 meters per second is way too high. Alright, now we're down to the millimeters per second again. Good. That's what we wanted. Alright, so can we bring it down gently this time without the whole falling sideways thing? Oh, we are very stable now. Oop, bounced, but stable, stable, stable. Okay, she stabilized. Alright, she stabilized. Yeah, we hit the ground. We're good. Stalker didn't die. Oh, whew. Oh, heart pound, heart pound, heart pound. Yeah. Alright, so from here, ladder time. Now we're going to leave this all up here because we do have fuel in it. Probably not a lot of fuel, not as much fuel as we'll need. We may have to get rid of that stage regardless, but we're going to keep it for now because it's better to have it not need it than to need it and not have it. And we're going to have Stalker go ahead and get outside the ship here. We're going to drop this down so we can see. And we're going to, well, I guess we could IVA first. We'll look inside. Very pretty. Again, we have lights, but they don't really work, so, well, we have the lander light. I guess that's it. So EVA, Stalker! Yay! Alright, he's going to, oop. Again, the ultimate in Kerbal landings when it comes to landing on another planetoid. Okay, so he has food, water, oxygen, electricity. He should have enough RCS to be able to do, I believe, just a hop. Now, I don't know how far away we are from this thing. Hopefully we're not too far away. We'll use some RCS to get ourselves over in that direction. Not too much, though, but as much as... Oh, there it is over there. Alright, so she's in this direction. So we can see it from here, but that doesn't mean it's close. It's probably about a kilometer, maybe even upwards of 2 kilometers away. Now, we'll use whatever RCS we can to get over there. But we're going to save our flag planting until we do. Now, I do have to be cautious because this gravity is a little bit heavier than the moon. But a lot lighter than what you might find on planets like Lathe or Tylo. So, it's one of those things where we can, of course, use our RCS thruster, but we have to use less than 50% to get there unless we want to walk all the way back. I don't know if Stalker wants to walk all the way back. I would suggest that maybe he doesn't, maybe he does, who knows? But for now, let's go ahead and meander over that way. And, okay, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. We're a little bit high off the ground, but we're doing okay. Worst comes to worst, he hits the ground a little hard. You know, from space, this basin does not look that big. It really doesn't. It looks like a very shallow, like very teeny tiny basin in comparison to a lot of the other ones around the planet. Or around the moon. But in all honesty, it is pretty hefty. Alright, so it looks like we may have to use a little bit more than 50% of our RCS to get over there. Well, I guess I can do this, and that way we can just look at it up here without having to fiddle with it. Alright, so, yeah, he's still falling. So let's go ahead and get him to arc back up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the gravity here is just high enough to pull you down very, very quickly in comparison to the moon. So you do have to use a little bit more RCS than you might like to get over there. But we're doing okay. And we have a ladder. We did bring a ladder. We were smart enough to bring a ladder, so we don't have to worry about that so much. We just have to slow down once we get there. That's going to be our big thing. We could almost walk the rest of the way if we really wanted to, but we're not going to worry about that either. So we landed fairly close, and I'm okay with that. And if we can jet our way halfway back or so, that's even that's good. So yeah, we're going to probably use up most of our RCS fuel just getting here. So we may have to walk back. But for now, this is a good little jaunt. Alright, so here it is. Here it is! The Tylo, excuse me, not Tylo, excuse me, the Val anomaly. The Val anomaly. He's going to hit the ground kind of hard. Oof. Could not be helped. Unfortunately, could not be helped. The gravity plus everything else. Can he run? Honestly, can you run in this? Oh, he can run in this gravity. Okay, that's not bad. We can just have him run back. Probably do that at like 4 times time acceleration. But go ahead and kick on our lights. And here it is. So now a lot of people refer to this as the Val Stonehenge or the Stonehenge on Val, but this looks, apart from having a very outside appearance of a Stonehenge circle, it really has no similarity to the Stonehenge that we have here on Earth. It really doesn't. It has more, well, I guess he can't, no, oh yeah, he can run, it's just a very, very light jog. It's like, he can't run, no, he can't run. But yeah, it looks like it's pointed at something. Now, because, I wonder if anyone's ever figured this out, and I'll probably have to look it up, but since Tylo is tidally locked. Why do I keep saying Tylo? It's not Tylo, it's Val. Val, we are on Val, not Tylo, stop it. Since Val. Since Val is tidally locked with Jewel, I wonder if this is pointed at anything in particular. Now, I say that knowing full well that it wasn't, it was not put here by aliens. It was put here by Squad, you know, by the monkeys of Squad, but I wonder if it's honestly pointed at something, like maybe if it's pointed at Kerbin or something similar. I do wonder if it's pointed at anything. You know, it's kind of from where the sun's at. I don't think we can see Jewel from this. Ooh, whoa. Okay, that's no. That's no. Okay, so apparently that went really south really quick. There we go. That's better. So if we look this way. Okay, I now always see, of course, the stars, so we can't really say whether or not it's pointed at something that way. But if we look this way, yeah, and I don't think Jewel's on this side of the planet. No, Jewel's on the other side of Val. So here's what it looks like from up top, of course. So it's got the 3 here, and then 2, 2, 2, and 2, and then the line right here. So it looks like it should be like pointed at something or pointed towards something, like go that way or ramp up that way or something. I don't even think it's pointed north or south or anything like that. It's just kind of pointed. But yeah, there it is. There is the Val anomaly. Yay! Stalker gets to visit the Val anomaly. Now we have 1.77 RCS left. And I'm thinking that we should try something. Let's go ahead and quick save really quick. And I think we can do this. So let's go ahead and do what Kerbals do best, which is to hop and then, oh, I need his RCS up. Come on, little buddy. That was probably not as helpful as it could have been. And poof, done. Alright, and we'll take his RCS off so he can save it for when he needs to jump back down and not kill himself. And right here in front of all things, haha! Happiest Kerbal ever! Plant flag. So the flag's going to be pointed in that direction, I guess. Boonk. And we don't have a mission flag for Tylos, so we are just using our standard mission flag. And we will say, this way to good eats. And we'll spell it E-E-T-S, and if you guys don't get the joke, that's fine. If you look up eats, you'll get the joke. Not go eats, good eats. G-O-O-D. This way to good eats. And we have come... He's giving a speech. We have come to find good eats and found a marker pointing somewhere. We hope it leads us to the future! Alright, so yeah, nice big speechy kind of thing there. Perfect! So we've planted our flag, and of course, for those of you who may or may not know, there's our flag. Wonderful, isn't it? Perfectly wonderful. Alright, so now it's time to get back home. Well, home. Whoa, we were 6.5 kilometers away? Wow, no wonder it took us so long to get here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, so most likely what's going to have to happen, let's go ahead and do this, little buddy. Most likely what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to walk that distance back. Stalker and I are going to have to walk that distance back. Now, we could probably thrust a little bit, but since it took us 5 units of Delta V to get here, or nearly 5 units of Delta V to get here, it'd probably take us the same, if not more, to get back, because we do have to go back over that giant hill. And we'll probably have to do it at 4 times time acceleration. So because of that, I will most likely be doing, yeah, I will be doing that. I will be doing that at 4 times time acceleration off camera. Yeah, off camera. It shouldn't take us the, I'm assuming 0.5 is less than a day, so half a day. It shouldn't take us more than half a day to get over there. Besides, we need to get to, yeah, we'll be fine, because we need to get back into orbit, because I looked at Val's data. Val orbits on its axis once every 24 hours per day. Plus 5 is 20, every 29 hours. Every 1 day, 5 hours, so every 29 hours. We only have 23 hours of food, water, and oxygen left in the container. So if we have to wait until we rotate 360 degrees to get back to our original orbit, Stalker will not survive the landing trip. So what he has to do is we have to take back off again halfway around, which is about 14 and a half hours from now. So it's going to be cutting it pretty tight all over. This mission is going to be cutting it pretty tight, and I'm going to go ahead and say this out loud right now for Stalker and everyone else to hear. I don't know if he's going to make it back home okay. We have a year's worth of food, water, and oxygen left upstairs in the Valkyrie. The problem is that I don't know if that's enough time to get him home. I don't know how much. I don't know what our phase angle is. I don't know what our burn status is. I don't know any of that stuff. So because of that, I'm hoping that we have enough food, water, and oxygen for Stalker to get back home, but there is a slight possibility that we may not. And that's been worrying me this entire time. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to run Stalker back over to the ship, and then from there we're going to launch, get back up to the Valkyrie rendezvous, and then try to head back home. And of course, I will see you guys when we're about ready to take off. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everyone, here we are again. Now, we are just going to launch. I was going to ditch these top tanks, but it turns out it has enough Delta V to get us into orbit at least, so why waste it when we can use it? Now, we do have to go to a northern approach. That's going to be our thing. Now, I do not remember which way is north on the compass. I believe north is if we go this way. I always get confused about that. It's very, 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 very bad, so we're going to try our very best to go north. So let's just go ahead and launch. And then we just want to go north, this way. Now that should be correct. And I say that with as much love as I can possibly give. Let's get rid of our surface information, check our orbital information. Wow, really? Already 20,000 meters? Yeah. Nice. Okay, so that'll tell us whether or not we're actually going north, and we are... Indeed. Alright, great. Now, we're going to have to do a lot of burninating. I guess I should have done that a little bit better. I kind of burned a little bit hefty in one direction rather than the other. But if we take a quick look here, at roughly where we want to go, it's going to cost us probably a little bit more than I like. 778. Not a problem at all. So let's go ahead and get up there. It's going to be a 24-second burn. I just needed to do that really quick. I know I don't like going on the map screen, and I know I tell you guys all this time, we're not going on the map screen, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes when you have no idea what you're doing, I forgot to bring up the ladder in the gear. Sometimes you have to. It's just a thing. Sometimes you honestly have to go to the map screen. There are still things that you cannot do unless you are on the map screen. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to get Stalker into orbit. Now, we can't go any faster than one time while at below 24 kilometers. And the really oddball part about... Oh, we will be going up to about 21 kilometers, but our other ship is at about 15. That's okay. Being slightly higher orbit is fine. We will adjust orbit as needed. Now, the reason we're on the dark side, of course, is because we could only go half a day. We couldn't go... Well, half a rotation. Half a Valkyrian day, I guess you can say, or half a Valliant day, or however you want to pronounce that. We can only go half a day on Val before we got up here, because as you take a look at our food, water, oxy, we are down to 0.4 of each, and that was half a day's worth. Half a day's worth. Had we gone too long, we would have ended up with Stalker starving to death, because he could not survive a full day, because it's one Kerbin day plus 5 hours, which is way too much. 29 hours, way more than we have on hand. Didn't even think about that when we landed, but I figure when you have a north-south polar orbit, you have more than enough orbity bitty butts to do what you need to do. Okay, so we're coming up on 12, and go. So we're going to start our burn. Yeah, we are a little bit wobbly, a little bit more wobbly than I like. Whoa, we push hard to one side. I think one of my engines is not burning is the problem. I forgot to activate an engine or something. No, all of our engines are burning, so I guess we're just side heavy. The ship is just side heavy for some reason. One side or the other is a little bit heavier. And we should reach orbit here in a minute. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just... Alright, good. 134 by 17. Oops. Oops. Okay, well, we're in orbit, technically speaking. That's okay. That's okay. Our orbit's going to be a little bit funky, but we have enough time, space, energy stuff to figure it out. So what I'm going to do here... Yeah, our orbit is very funky. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... I have to do this intercept maneuver, old school style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this off camera, so you guys don't have to sit here and stare at me fiddling with a map screen for 20 minutes. And I will see you guys. I know I do a lot of cuts. I know I tend to do a lot of cuts, but I try to cut all this out. I'll see you guys when we get closer to the Valkyrie, and that way we can get docked with it. Or not dock. We're not docking with it. This is not returning with us. The Valkyrie lander is staying in orbit. It is staying in orbit. But we will transfer Stalker over to the Valkyrie and be done with it. Haha! So I will see you guys, of course, when we are ready to dock. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, everybody. I figure for this burn, we will go ahead and do it all together, because we're not going to be docking, so there's not going to be any of that fiddling with docking stuff. However, we are going to have to disconnect this guy because he's running out of fuel. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, we're going to come up to within 600 meters, and we can't go any faster than one-time time acceleration this close to the surface. And it's a nice vista, of course, crossing the surface like we are. So we're only doing about 61.7 meters per second. It sounds a lot like he was giving a speech or singing a song. I'm not sure which. And hey, look, there's Tylo way over there, the planet, the moon I kept mistaking for Val, of course. So let's keep going. Now, of course, we are at about 3 times time acceleration. We'll crank that up to 4 times time acceleration. We're not going that fast, which is really, 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 really wonderful. But it is going to take us a little bit of time to get over there. And once we got across the 2.2, there might be a little bit of an issue, so we'll do that naturally. We'll do that without the time acceleration. And there it is, and there it is. So now we are within visual range of our target. Oh, this is going to be fun slowing down when the planet is spinning below us. There is, of course, a basin down there for the South Pole, I believe is where we are. I'm not sure if there's anything in there, or if there is, what it might be. So let's go ahead and start slowing down now. Oh, we may not have to get rid of this tank. I thought we did. Oh well, so it looks like we don't. I don't. It for me when the lines are this low, it honestly looks like we don't have a lot. When the camera stops spinning, it doesn't look like we have a lot of delta V left. But apparently we had enough to slow down. So Val, not as scary a target as I originally had thought when it comes to landing and returning. Now, of course, the biggest issue we have here on the returning part is getting our dear friend. Uh oh, may have overshot our marker there a little bit. Well, we could probably have him get out almost and just go over there. I mean, it is only 700 meters, right? But anyway, as I was saying, the biggest problem that we have with returning is food, water, and oxygen. That's going to be our biggest issue. So because of that, we're hoping, or I'm hoping, that it won't be a problem. I don't know, though. I do not know, though, that may be a problem. So we're going to go ahead and slow down time here a little bit and go back to normal time. 500 meters, I think, is way close. Hey, look, we're going to cross over right where we landed before. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to slow down the rest of the way. Or at least slow enough to where Stalker doesn't have to use up all of his RCS to catch up to the other ship. So we're going to go, 0.5 or so, 0.2. We'll see if we can get that last little... Hey, 0.0. For the moment, we are perfectly stable. So let's have Stalker EVA. He's going to let go, RCS up, turn on his lights, zoom in so we can see, and then he's going to leave the ship. Goodbye, Valkyrie Lander. You were a very good ship. Very good indeed. You didn't even have to use that center tank. That drop probe on top, we honestly could have taken some of the parts out of it and it would have been perfectly fine. But, we did what we did. We brought enough just in case we needed to overshoot or do more than what we could. Downside, of course, being that we may not have done the same thing with food. Would have been, I really should have done overkill on the food. I don't know why I decided that the food was not but not that it wasn't important, but that 600 was enough. That like the one big tank was enough. It might still be, but it's in my head, It's like, Stalker's gonna die, and it's not because of a failure. It's not because we crashed. It's not because of anything. It's because you didn't load up enough snacks. That's gonna be the thing. That's gonna be his legacy. That is going to be his legacy. Died due to lack of snacks. The Kerbal's bane. No O2. Whatever. No water. Don't care. No snacks. End of days. End of days. Alright, looks like we're going to overshoot near the top, so let's go ahead and scoot forward a little bit. We're docking Kerbals. Tucked between two ships. That would be really bad. You run out of RCS between two ships. But you'd have to be they'd all three have to be perfectly stable, and you have to be like at the Lagrange point between both ships in order for that to even be a problem. So I don't think it'd be an issue. Now the lights on this side, this should be where our cupola module is. Yep, this is where our captain's cabiny is. Now with the docking clamp in the way, unfortunately we still won't be able to see out the front. So Stalker's going to only have a view around the outer edges, but he'll have a view nonetheless. Okay, where's our door? Is that our door? I believe that's our door. Hey, we did a good job. Came down right on top of our door. Perfect. Loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. This is a good little ship. Board. Or not. Go ahead and back it up. Board, grab, board, whatever. Board! Very, very, very excitable Kerbal right there. Alright, we are on board. And apparently, let's search up our camera to free cam so we can get that. There you go. There it is. Alright, now we are in a polar north-south orbit, and we have a lot of fuel left, I believe. A lot more now than we did before. 6,506. So what we need to do is we need to go from a polar orbit to an equatorial orbit, and then from there we need to find our phase angle to Kerbin, and then we need to GTFO. Now, again, I could do that all on camera, but I'm not going to, so we're going to have yet one more cut on this one. This one, of course, is going to be the final cut before Stalker goes home, or is lost in space for always. Hopefully he goes home. So, we're going to go ahead and pause here once again, and then I'm going to do all that orbital maneuvering junk to where we're in the corrective orbit, and we are ready to go home and whatnot. And so, I will see you guys after the break, absolutely. Alright everyone, now due to the bad phase angle, I guess you can say, it's not a bad phase angle, but due to our current phase angle to Kerbin, as well as the amount of food, water, and oxygen we have left, what we're going to do is I'm having Stalker do an overburn. Basically, we're going to convert fuel to food. And the way we're going to do that is we are now outside the orbit of Val. We're very close to Val, but we're now outside the orbit of Val. We're now in orbit around Jewel. And what I'm going to have MechJeb do is he's going to do one burn, which will put us close to the orbit of Kerbin. After that, he's going to be doing a secondary burn, and that second burn is going to put him very, 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 very close to Kerbin with an orbit, but it's going to be within 320 days. 320 days for that entire flight. And if you look up here, we have 334 days of food, water, and oxygen. So we're converting fuel to food by saving time by burning early. Not the smartest thing in the world, I'm sure, but hopefully it'll work for us. So let's go ahead and kick up our burn, and that should be here in a couple of seconds if MechJeb has done its calculations properly, and hopefully it has. Please. Hey, perfect. So because of that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, again, we're going to pause. And then, because it's going to be a long burn, a couple of very long burns, as you can see, it's going to be about 8 minutes here on this one. And then it's going to be another, like, 2,000 meter per second burn on the other end. But hopefully, if everything works out, we will have brought Stalker back home from Jewel, the longest return trip, straight out and back return trip I have ever performed with a Kerbal, and the longest trip we've ever taken with a TAC life support mod installed. So, 2 big firsts there if we can pull it off. If we can't, Stalker unfortunately will not make it home. But hopefully he will make it home and everything will be fine. We'll have to see. But of course, now that we've started our burn and we are on our way back to the Kerbin land, yay! I will see you guys most likely when we get ourselves back there. Yeah, so much fuel left in these outer tanks. So I will see you guys, hopefully in orbit around Kerbin. If not, you will get updated news on bad things. So I'll see you guys there. Alright everyone, we've made it! Stalker is alive! I'm so excited. And if you want to see how alive, 13.32 days alive. It took 320 days to get here. We had 351 or so days left of food, water, and oxygen. As a matter of fact, before we even hit orbit around Kerbin, like got captured by Kerbin, TAC life support was screaming that we were running out of food, water, and oxygen. So, before we did anything else, I put us into a nice equatorial orbit, did like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 burns, and even brought us close to the KSA delivery. Now, for those of you who do remember, or do not remember the KSA, you know, get back inside there. I forgot to do something. Kill the lights. You gotta kill the lights. You can't just leave the lights on. Anyway, for those of you who do remember the KSA delivery, it is the ship that brought our dear Kerbal friend Stalker to the Valkyrie. And it was also designed to take him home. I know, right? We were like thinking ahead. And because it was brought up here to take him home, I did do a few additional orbital burns, and brought him close to it. Now, if you take a look at the Valkyrie, you can't really see it now, but if you take a look at those 4 tanks, they're still full. About halfway full. We took way more fuel than we needed. Now, with all the weight that was on it going out, I thought we wouldn't need, I thought we'd need all that fuel. But with all that weight lost on the way back in, we had so much fuel left. Which is why we did the additional orbital burns. Once we did the additional orbital burns, basically the way it worked is we went from Julian orbit to the opposite side of the sun from Jewel, then did a slowdown, a retro burn, until such a time that we were within the orbit or around the orbit of Eve, which of course sped us up. So we actually passed by. The way it worked is we intercepted Kerbin in an orbital period before our actual burn, because we zooped down around the sun really fast. But that's how much fuel we had, and we still have. We have like 6,000 or 7,000 Delta V left in that ship. If we filled that ship up with food, water, and oxygen, it could probably go out to Eve or Duna or anywhere else we wanted to and come right back without a problem. So that is a fairly good design. Downside is of course we just need the food and the food and the water and the oxygen. So 1 or 2 years worth of food, water, oxy for one Kerbal, barely enough to get you back to Kerbin. If you, I won't say cheat, but if you get lucky and you're able to use that extra fuel to burn your way here rather than doing everything else. Now we're at a funny angle, so this is going to be kind of odd to do, but we should be able to do it just fine. So, but very awesome, very great. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get to, there's our door. I found our door. Now this thing's been up here for like 3 years. Maybe even 4 years. I think it took us like 4 years to get out there and back in total. So let's go ahead and climb inside and make sure everything works. Come on, Stalker buddy. Grab hold and climb down and get on. Hey, there it is. He's back on board. He's ready to go. Look how happy he is. Oh my god, look how he is. Ah, this is my home ship. I remember this. I came up in this thing. So happy. Absolutely. Alright, so this is going to be much easier to control than the other ship. So the Valkyrie. Valkyrie, a very wonderful design. Very, very wonderful design. Can go almost anywhere and come back. Once again, food, water, and oxygen notwithstanding. Once you take it up into orbit and fuel it up, of course. That's the downside. It almost acts like its own little space station, really. But we're up here at about 70, 80 kilometers, so we're going to go ahead and bring our dear Kerbal friend back down. So I'd like to do that with some orbital information here, so we can do a proper leg, so we don't kill him in the last little bits of fluff there. About 31 kilometers, I think, is a good number. So Valkyrie, I think it flew by already. Oh, there it goes. Bye bye, Valkyrie. Let's change our orbital to the free cam. I really can't stand how it does that sideways orbital cam when you're this close to the ground. It's like the ground should be below you. So there's the Valkyrie. We'll leave it up here. It's a good ship. We could probably well, it doesn't have a lander can on it, but if we wanted to go orbital exploring anything, the Valkyrie would be a great ship to do it with, just to bring it up and reuse it if we wanted to. I wonder if we could bring up a replacement lander, because the lander we had on there, a little bit too much overkill for like places like Val, so who knows? Who knows? We may even bring up like a new lander can to stick on there, and then we can take the Valkyrie out. That'd be the first time we ever took a ship out twice, you know? Every ship I've ever taken out, either left it or taken a new ship out and brought the crew back. I've never done a round trip with a ship and then done another round trip with a ship, which is, a lot of people are like, build SSTOs, build SSTOs. That's, you know, SSTOs are awesome. And it's like, yeah, well, you know, that's what they're for, right? To use them multiple times. And if you're going to use them multiple times, well, why not build a ship in orbit and use that ship multiple times? If you can go out and come back, why not? Maybe a thing. Now the KSC is going to fly out from underneath us. It should be right over... Is it here? Here. Oh, there's the KSC. So we're coming down over the top of the KSC, but we will not be coming down on top of the KSC. I suppose if I did like a full-on liquid burn right now, we might get... I could try it? I don't know. See, that's the thing, is I don't think it's worth Stalker's life to try for a full-on stop burn just to land at the KSC. I mean, I know it would be totally awesome, and I'm sure you guys would be totally stoked. I would kind of be totally stoked, but at the same time, it makes me a little bit nervous to do that kind of thing. I suppose we could use the fuel we have on board to see what we can do. With that regard, maybe we can get lucky and slow ourselves down a lot. But I don't think we'll be able to stop completely. Let's give it, let's give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. Stalker made it back to Kerbin, and he didn't die of oxygen or food deprivation, so we'll give a straight slowdown a shot and see how that works. Worst comes to worst, he burns up in the atmosphere. Probably won't if we're going slow enough on the way down, right? I mean, well, he won't, absolutely won't if we're going slow enough. So we're not going to land at the KSC. Unfortunately, we are going too fast, and I burned too late, and that's okay. That's okay. We're going to land close, and close is good. We might even land near the island. I don't know. Probably not. So it looks like our orbit's now bringing us almost straight down. That's really nice. Okay, so we're going to be coming almost straight down at a rather high speed. We could probably survive a high-speed impact like this. Alright. Now we also have those retro burners if we need them. Probably won't, but we have them in case we need them. Hey, look at that. Okay, we're at 50 clicks. Alright, so that's that, so we'll ditch that. Goodbye. So we're going to be coming almost straight down, but we're going so slow it shouldn't matter that much, I hope. Again, but we do have the retro burners in case we need them. It'll slow us down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Deadlier entry and all that jazz, right? Woo! Scary stuff, scary stuff. Alright, so the air's caught us a little bit, so we'll start to speed up. And okay, the retro burners are pointed in the right direction. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't want to do that. There you go. Do not want to do that. We do not want to rock sideways too much. Okay, so these are full, I believe, and they're at full power. Yes, they are full and at full power. That's like a 10-second burn. Roughly a 10-second burn. Well, there's no threat of going back into orbit, so let's do this. Nice, there you go. Nice little gentle retro burn. No fire involved. Nice, okay. And I guess we can open up a parachute to help slow us down a little bit. Now, the problem here is we are coming straight down, and that parachute does have to slow us down to around 250 meters per second before it opens. If it opens before then, it breaks and we all die, or at least Stalker dies. And I don't think he's going to be happy about that. I don't think he's going to be very happy about that at all. Alright, so this isn't bad. This is not a bad controlled landing. Yes, we didn't land at the KSC, but you know what? 23.6 kilometers is not a bad, oh, that's going to be fine. Yeah, he's going to be fine. Stalker, you're going to be fine, dude. Stay calm, buddy. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Look at that. We did a nice, almost landing. See, so we went all the way to Jewel, came all the way back, almost landed at the KSC. Almost landed at the KSC. Not perfect. Not perfect, but we get closer each and every time. I like to, again, I know I've mentioned this before, I like to randomize it, and I like the idea of eventually, one day, randomly landing in some lake somewhere. That's going to be my ultimate goal, is to randomly land in a lake somewhere. Just bloop. Or to land in the Kerbal River, which is that big flowing river that you can see from orbit. What I assume, I've heard it called the Kerbal River. I'm assuming that's what we've decided to call it as a community. So that's what I've called it. Whether it's got an actual name, like a realistic name, it's assigned to it by squad, or whether it goes by many different names, I do not know. But to land in that river, I've come close. I landed about 2 kilometers away from that river once. But to randomly come down and land in the Kerbal, just to float down the river to the ocean. If we had flowing water on Kerbin, that'd be hilarious. We'd be like, where did he land? He landed in the river. Where's he going? Towards the ocean. I'm on a boat, right? Alright, so coming down. Now, this isn't a real landing. This is not a complete 100% trip until Stalker is safe in the water. Once he's safe on the ground or safe in the water, then we have successfully brought a Kerbal back from Val, of all places. Val, man. A round trip to Val and back. Wow, that's not nothing. That is not nothing. And bam, look at that. Round trip complete. We went to visit the monolith, the statue, or whatever. Well, not monolith. It's not a monolith. Well, it is technically, but it's not a monolith in the sense that the game's monoliths are monoliths. It is a Stonehenge style design. So we went and visited the Stonehenge on Val using the Valkyrie, a very well designed ship, just needing a little bit more food. With Stalker, our one-man brigade. He's probably crazy as a loon, too. He's going to come out of there and eat other Kerbals and be like, because we didn't give him enough board games. But he made it back with 13 days worth of snacks, so maybe he made little puppet people out of the wrappers. I don't know. But anyway, super awesome, fun time. Super awesome, great. Not sure what we're going to do next, because I think that was one of the last viable anomalies out there in the Kerbal space, and since Kerbal Space Adventures was designed to explore anomalies, yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to figure something else out. But for now, that's going to be the end of this episode, so I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4 Kilobyte Short, on this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program, Kerbal Space Adventures, and Stalker and I will see you next video.